Good day YouTube. This is just a bit of a quick fun comparison video between Linux Mint 21 on the left hand side here versus Ubuntu 22.04 long-term service release on the right hand side here. Now before I go any further, I'll say that, how do I say this? They're both based off Ubuntu 22.04 LTS. Of course Ubuntu is, and Linux Mint there is as well. In fact, it's a bit of a chain. So Linux Mint is based off Ubuntu, which is in turn based off Debian. But it is what it is, and what I'll do is I'll get into this now. So having a bit of a look here, so we are using the default desktop environments for each of these. So on the left-hand side, Linux Mint likes to use Cinnamon desktop environment, whereas on the right-hand side we have the GNOME desktop environment there. But we'll start off with having a little bit of a look at Linux Mint here. So as we can see, we've got the categorization of apps, all your options there, a few internet graphics accessories apps, and then you can type in the app that you are looking for. Pretty much the same on the right-hand side here with GNOME, albeit done a little bit differently, and you've got your option for your workspaces there as well. Very easy to access if you really wanted to, and there you go. In fact, a couple of different ways to access them there, as we can see. But you've also got your start menu of sorts, able to search for things there as well. Now you do have a side taskbar with all your apps there, where you've only got the bottom taskbar here. So you got more information technically to display with the top taskbar on the Ubuntu side of things, but maybe you don't need that. We'll have a look soon. Now we'll have a look at the back end a little bit in terms of the file manager, see what's happening here. So these are similar in design and what they do. One is Nemo and the other is GNOME Files, the de facto standard for GNOME. Now, apart from the color tones and things like that, you can right click and you can open up a terminal. That keeps me happy. But what I'm loving with Ubuntu is, I think this was an optional feature that I may have turned on, but this beautiful dark mode all the way through. I'm just loving what that is there. Moving across to the, let's see, now the back end. Now this should be pretty much the same. So the kernel, 5.15 kernel for Linux Mint, whereas the, well, 5.15 kernel as well for Ubuntu. Now, no surprises here, I should know and I should say, because they are both based off Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, which is long-term service release, which in turn means that it is supported for about 5 years, security and software updates. So install once, run forever, or at least for many years. Now, finally, take these results with these RAM results with a bit of a grain of salt. Results and salts, mixing my words up today. Now, we'll have a look at the CPU. So the CPU is idling off nicely for each of them. Linux Mint is using about 720 megabytes of RAM on boot up there, whereas we have Ubuntu about 860 megabytes of RAM, so about 140 megabytes of RAM on boot up. Now, GNOME, any GNOME desktop environment is going to do this. I love the fact that Ubuntu uses the least out of any GNOME desktop environment there. For instance, Fedora uses about 1.4 gigabytes on boot up. Pop! OS 22.04, really close brother to this one, uses 1.65 gigabytes of RAM on boot up. Typically, I've just did that video, so I know that very specific value. But for whatever reason, Ubuntu is just killing it in terms of optimization, not using too much RAM on boot up. In fact, it is my daily driver. I'm not biased, I'm not trying to be, but yeah, I'm just really proud of that. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, subscribe, hit that like button, and I do hope to see all of you guys there in the next one. Cheers.